Hello and welcome to the Tower of London for today's Thought for the Day. I want to talk a bit today about friendship. And the reason I want to do this is because on Friday I had to travel to Canary Wharf. To do that I decided to go on the DLR from Tower Gateway, which meant changing at Limehouse. When I stepped off at Limehouse I was looking around me and noticed on the wall a series of posters. These posters were people expressing what they thought friendship was about, and that gave me an idea for today's Thought for the Day. So what I'd like you to do now is to look at some of these photographs just for a few minutes before I then go on and say myself a little bit about what I think friendship is about. I hope you enjoyed looking at those posters about friendship as much as I did. In fact, I enjoyed looking at them so much that I missed 2 trains that were going to Canary Wharf, but that's another story. In summary, those people were trying to define friendship for them. For one, friendship meant being together. For another, friendship meant easy to be with and helped by someone. That I understand as well. Friendship meant, for another one, made them feel better as people. Another one said that friendship was helping them through the rough times as well as the good times. And finally, there was one who wrote that friendship for him was simply about love. Now, I agree with all of those, and I'm sure you agree with all of those. And if you really enjoyed them, I suggest that you go back on the video here at some point and stop and read them slowly. Now, that's what people like you and me might say about friendship. But what about the professionals? What about the sociologists, the anthropologists, social anthropologists, the philosophers, and all those professional people? How would they define friendship? Well, I think this is something about what they might say. Friendship is a relationship of mutual affection between 2 people and stronger than association. Now, I think that's really good, and I think it's worth reading again to you. Friendship is a relationship of mutual affection between 2 people and stronger than association. Now, when we think about what those people said on the poster, and when we think about the definition from the professionals, I think that leaves us also with a question for us as a Christian community, which I just want to tease out a little bit with you. And that question, of course, is, what is Christian friendship? Now, just as there are sociologists, anthropologists and others, there are also Christian socialists, anthropologists, Christian social anthropologists and philosophers and psychologists who've also looked at this question as well. For them, they would not argue with what's already been said. But for them, what they would say was that Christian friendship was built upon the idea of having Christ, though, at the centre of your life. Be like a triangle. There's you, there's me, and Christ at the centre, joining the two together. In its very simple terms, Christian friendship is about the same as our relationship with God. It's about praise, thanksgiving, forgiveness, and all those other attributes of Christian living that we all try to live with every day. Now, praise is an interesting one. For example, we praise God, we have those great hymns of praise we start our services with. But in terms of friendship, how many of us have taken the chance to praise a friend for doing something really good, even doing something quite small, for getting over a hurdle or achieving something? This is quite different, I think, from just acknowledgement, but actually praising them for achieving and doing something special. That's because that's based upon what we're taught from the Bible and what we know as Christians, that praising God and putting God first and our neighbour as ourselves is the centre, if we like, of this type of relationship. And I agree and think that's really quite important, but I want to add to that as well, from a personal perspective as well. Firstly, I want to say to you that I am enormously grateful that I have old friends and new friends, and I apologise to you if you're listening to this and you're an old friend. You know what I mean. For me, I'm lucky, as I say. I've had several friends who have travelled with me most of my life. They've been with me through good times and bad times. They've been with me to share in my journey through the army and to the life here at the Tower of London. They know me personally, they know my family, my children, and they know some of my other friends, old friends. I'm also grateful for new friends as well. And I always think it's quite exciting to be making new friends. And that is in particularly true when we think of young people. I always think of the choir here and how I've got to know some of these young people and become friends with them. And I'm grateful for that. And maybe that's your experience as well. Secondly, I want to say that friendship has always got to be something to be worked on. I've described this as like a pool of water. If you leave a pool of water on the floor, it becomes stagnant, becomes smelly, and friendships can come a bit like that as well. They can become very stagnant. Friendships should be like rivers rolling along, and we should be working at them all the time. Thirdly, to accept that for some people, friendship is not as easy as it is for others. Now, as a child, I was sent to Anglesey to a Christian camp there, and we had to learn these choruses, and some of them are still with me even 60 years later. One of them went something like this: the perfect friend is the one that knows the worst about you and loves you just the same. There's only one who loves like that, and Jesus is his name. That might seem a bit corny today, but actually the essence of it is completely true, that at the heart of friendship and Christian friendship is forgiveness. So just a few thoughts today as we think about friendship and what it means to us. I finish also with this little saying: a friend is one who strengthens you with prayers, blesses you with love, and encourages you with hope.